Good evening and welcome to the News Now at 10 o'clock. I'm Danielle Lewan with your latest digital headlines. This is where we bring you the most up-to-date information in between our televised newscasts. We know all of you still, as we head into this weekend, are extremely curious about Hurricane Florence. We've had team coverage throughout this week and throughout today, tracking this, myself included. So we'll be touching base with all areas, the Low Country, Coastal Empire, and making sure that all of you are updated no matter where you're from. I want to let you know, if you can see my hair blowing, this is the most wind I have felt as we've been tracking Hurricane Florence. Now, our chief meteorologist, Dave Turley, will have a much better update, much more expertise coming up on the News at 11. But I'll tell you, I'm out here at the Savannah International Hilton Head Airport where I'm tracking flights for folks, and it is windy. We knew we would experience some of that as we headed into the weekend. I also want to let you guys know that I am having two phones in my hands right now. That's so I can communicate with you guys, but also I have this Facebook Live pulled up. We've been taking these from the field this week, so I can communicate with you, and I'll try my best to. I know a lot of you are jumping in and saying hello. Nicole, hello. I'm hoping for good news. We are as well, and it is looking that way, Johnny. Seeing some folks from Beaufort. Bill Higgins, hello. Sabrina, hello. Amanda from South Carolina. Walterboro, we hope you're being safe up there. And we are tracking this tonight, so y'all be sure to jump in. And if you have any questions as we run through this information, let's go ahead and start further north to Hurricane Florence with Hilton Head Island. Our Elizabeth Rollins was out there earlier today, and their emergency operations center continues to monitor the conditions. School and government offices remain closed and plan to reopen on Monday. Now, the beach is open. Here's what we've seen today: calm conditions. A lot of people here on the beach, the tide relatively low. Now, our meteorologists say it's possible some of that tide is being pulled through the storm just north of us, but a lot less fear among residents today. And again, those beaches open, but nevertheless, there were some evacuees that talked to our Elizabeth Rollins there today that do have some concerns, and that's why we're continuing to monitor this storm for you, so we can bring you the absolute latest, and not just our Low Country beaches, but our beaches here in Georgia as well. Our Harley Strickland was out on Tybee Island all this afternoon monitoring those wave conditions. She says that there were a lot of kids out of school today that were on the beaches. Tybee officials knew the beach would draw a crowd. They said they wanted to be cautious but logical at the same time. They watched these beach conditions improve throughout the day, and those red flags that we saw flying were finally removed. Now, some beachgoers say the waves were small and they didn't see the need for red flags, but they know it's not about what you can see, it's about what you can't see under that water. That's what law enforcement agencies, lifeguards, and ourselves have been warning all of you about, that you might be looking out into that ocean. Might look beautiful, sunny skies, like you want to jump in, but no, those strong rip currents could be underneath. I want to check in with a few more of you jumping in to say hello. Charlotte Jones, hello. Judy, another storm for Beaufort. Cindy, absolutely. You know, around this time 1 year ago today, we were experiencing Hurricane Irma directly right here to Savannah and the Low Country, but it looks like there will be nowhere near the same devastation up there in Beaufort. For you guys, Sherry, hello. Watching from Savannah, Valdosta, Tennessee. Jessup, we have people from all over, and that's because of the stance of Hurricane Florence. Everybody wants to make sure that they're protected, and we are trying to do that as well. Now, today, folks doing that even more than us are our Coast Guard members. I headed out to the Coast Guard Air Station in Savannah, where I watched them deploy 1, 2, 3 helicopters today to go hunt down rescue missions up there towards the Carolina coast. Take a look at this video of them packing up those necessities to get up there and help everybody. Now, they tell me that this is what the Coast Guard is here for. This is a United States service. They all pull together They all know how to operate this equipment, this machinery, so they can get there immediately for emergency situations. They tell me that they've been on a heightened readiness this week, waiting for this exact moment to deploy and help folks in need. They also want to make sure if you need rescuing that you know what to do so they can rescue you as quickly as possible. Here's what they tell me. If you are in the dark, take something like a flashlight and wave it. Try and get to the highest point of ground possible. If you're in your home, go all the way upstairs on the roof as possible. Or on the roof if you can. Take things like bright clothing, if you have bright blankets, and try and wave those down. Anything that you can do to draw attention to yourself if you're in an emergency situation, that really helps the Coast Guard see you from air, but also through this torrential rain, this torrential wind. It's hard enough for them to see, but again, I met with them today, and I'll have a much more updated story tonight on the news at 11, and also here, the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport checking in about flight statuses. Now they tell me they haven't had complications this week, no cancellations, but I checked in with some passengers and pilots just touching ground about an hour ago. They tell me it was smooth sailing until they got close to Savannah. That's in that last 20-25 minutes or so. They felt that turbulence, that kind of like bumpy winds, but smooth sailing. They made it here safely, and this airport assures you, if you also decide to fly out of here, fly into here, that you will be safe as well. I'm going to touch base with a couple of you one last time before we head out, and I head to get ready for this 11 o'clock newscast. When should the weather start getting bad in Pooler? Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley will have a much better answer for you about that at 11. But for right now, we are going to see very mild conditions. Just let you know that I'm out here and my hair is blowing in this wind. But this is the most that we've seen so far. But stay with WTOC throughout the weekend as we monitor those conditions for you. But Pooler, I think that you're going to be all right. Hello from Rincon, just windy here. I believe that not too far from here in Pooler at the airport, so I think these winds are picking up, guys. What can we expect in Jasper County? Kind of the same thing, guys. We're all really in this boat. We're out of this cone of uncertainty. I was in Jasper County yesterday and the day before, where they were encouraging folks to move to higher ground, get out of these peak flood zones, but they have not received any rain there, any bad conditions yet, so we believe that all of you will be all right at this time. But again, check in with Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley coming up at 11 about those specific questions. Rain, wind, flooding here in East Tennessee. Absolutely, we knew those inland areas would receive some of that weather as Hurricane Florence came, hit Wilmington, North Carolina, took that dip, and then traveled back inland. But for now, guys, you can always call WTOC and we can answer any questions that you might have. You can also always reach out to me on my Facebook. It should be there on your lower screen right now. That's at WTOC Danielle if you have any questions or want to follow me and keep up with any information as we bring it straight to you, these minute-by-minute updates. But I want to make sure that I have the latest information for you tonight at 11, so let me get back to my story. But for now, I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your evening.